Miles Simmons, as of this moment today, I'm totally befuddled about the MVP. I truly don't know who I would vote for right now. And that's why I love this is an 18-week award, not a 15-week award. So yes, let's leave the MVP discussion for down the road a bit. But to me, I've started to get some clarity about Coach of the Year. I'll give you my top three right now. Number 1, Kevin Stefanski, Cleveland. Number 2, DeMeco Ryans, Houston. Number 3, Dan Campbell, Detroit. And look, there's 10 other guys who deserve some credit, deserve praise. But right now, Kevin Stefanski, with, by the way, his lookalike, Joe Flacco. I mean, if they sit in a team meeting, I have a question. They sit next to each other. You walk in there, how do you know which one is the coach and which one is the starting quarterback? To me, the facial hair just totally makes it impossible because the facial hair is exactly the same. But I just really applaud Stefanski. He's won this year with 4 different starting quarterbacks, 4 different winning starting quarterbacks. They're 9-5 with an incredible amount of anxiety and difficulties. And look, Miles, as of now, you and I still don't know if 40% into the contractual term of Deshaun Watson, whether the Cleveland Browns actually have their quarterback of the future when they step on the field for opening day of training camp 2024. I have no idea if he's done enough to assuage any of the doubters or whatever. I still think there's an open question about it, but that's a question for another day. Right now, to me, if you're a Cleveland Browns fan, you got to be really, really happy with what your team has shown under this coach who just doesn't let anything really bug him.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable what Kevin Stefanski has been able to do. I was talking to my mom, who's still in Cleveland, and she likened him to MacGyver with the way that he was able to get through that game against the Chicago Bears. Because look, I mean, they were playing without 4 or 5 starting offensive linemen. You have an incredible amount of the salary cap that is tied up in some of these players that are on injured reserve. And you've got Joe Flacco throwing absolute dimes in the fourth quarter to guys like Amari Cooper and Marquise Goodwin. I mean, it was kind of ridiculous what Joe Flacco was able to do in that final period of that game against the Bears to win it. So, yeah, it's the first time that a coach for the Cleveland Browns has had multiple winning seasons since Marty Schottenheimer in the 80s. That's before I was even born. Wow. So it tells you the kind of job that Kevin Stefanski has done for that franchise. Going into this year, and you talk about the Deshaun Watson contract, it was kind of an open question, right? If this thing doesn't start taking off, well, is Kevin Stefanski going to be the coach of the Cleveland Browns going forward? Because you're not really going to get rid of Deshaun Watson. But I think right now we know that Kevin Stefanski should be the head coach of the Cleveland Browns going forward because of what he has done and what he's been able to do with that team as a whole, just keeping them competitive and having them in position, not just to compete for a playoff spot, but potentially if Baltimore slips, they could be competing for that division title in the last couple of weeks.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.